Tamim, over to you. Please go ahead. We are live now.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Away, away from men and towns, to the wild wood and the downs, to the silent wilderness, where the soul need not repress its music. Good morning, dignitaries. Dr. Pratash Bhajatya, sir, Senior Member, ASSOCHAM, National Council for Green and Eco-Friendly Movement, GEM, Director, Education and Training, ISLE, Indian Society of Lighting Engineers, Architect Rajiv Taishete, sir, Honorary Secretary, ASSOCHAM GEM Maharashtra Chapter, and Principal Architect Rajiv Taishete and Associates. Today's keynote speaker, Mr. Nikhil Mohite, sir, Consultant Energy Audits and Commissioning, Mr. Rath, sir, Joint Director, ASSOCHAM GEM Green Building Certification Program, Dr. Pramod Patil, sir, Principal, Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute of Technology, Pimpri, Pune, Dr. Urmila Patil, ma'am, Dean Academics and HOD Electrical, Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute of Technology, Pimpri, Pune, Mr. Arun Sonar, sir, Head Instrumentation Engineering, all participants and my FDP committee members. I, Ekta Mishra, Assistant Professor, Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute of Technology, Pimpri, Pune, and convener of this FDP, welcome you all for webinar series and ASSOCHAM GEM Knowledge Series Talk 11, Session 4 on Energy Audit and Commencement. Tomorrow is World Environment Day, and this year the theme for the same is ecosystem restoration, through which everyone needs to create and encourage awareness about the protection of environment, and our webinar series Accelerating Clean, Green and Sustainable Innovation in India is a tiny step to create awareness. As I strongly believe that never doubt that small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. Thank you so much. So let's start the session. I invite Mr. Rath, sir, for opening remark. Over to you, Rath, sir.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Please give me the presentation, right? Yeah, thank you. Just a moment, please. A warm welcome to all of you. So today, the topic of the discussion, the theme is about energy audit and commencement. So it is very dear to me, this topic is because when I started my sustainability career, it almost started with energy auditing experiences. So why it is required and how to do it, we will go by step in this seminar. First of all, I would like to give a brief introduction, or you can say to introduce you with this market. So you can see in every century, the market is predominated by certain sectors. And even if the market is going up and down every time, every year, but still there is clearly a sector which dominates a part of it, right? For example, in the 19th century, the first quarter was dominated by automobiles. Then the second quarter was dominated by mostly pharmaceutical industries and biochemist labs, and a lot of medicines were coming up. The third quarter was dominated by the white revolutions, dairy products, FMCG sectors and everything. And by the end of it, the last quarter of the century was dominated by IT sector, right? But right now it's a time when it's going to be dominated by what we project it as a green revolution sector, which is going to be dominating, and energy is going to make a major role in that. You can see the economic cycle here. I will explain it very quickly. The recession cycle and the expansion cycle, when market is recovering. Right now, the pandemic situation, the market is very much unstable, let's say, and slowly will pick up and then again slide down, and this cycle is go on. So never to worry about that. But if you can see this market low every time and the market top, when the market is recovering from the bad phase to good phase, energy is going to be play a big role there. You can see all the graphs here. Energy is already there in the early expansion to late expansion. In the market position is energy is there, right? Here also, if you can see stock market versus the economic cycle versus the stock market cycle, there is a synchronization, and energy is in number 9. You can see is here top, right here. Pointer is okay. 9 and 11. This 9 is energy sector in the top. It is completely guiding the stock market peaks as well, the economic cycle as well. So you can see the energy in terms of not only in terms of renewable energies or conservations or optimizations of resources, but in terms of economy also, in terms of professor choice also, in terms of career also. Energy is going to play a big role. So please make attention to this seminar. It might give you a lot of things that you might have never heard of before. So let's come back to ASSOCHAM. Why ASSOCHAM? ASSOCHAM is a century-old organization from 1920. It is there, so we understand the need of the market. So the Associated Chambers of Commerce and Industry of India, with more than 400 chambers and trade associations serving more than 4.5 lakh members from all over India, is working towards creating a conducive environment of Indian business to compete globally. So that's why whenever we are starting some initiatives, it has some reason to do so. It is not at all a trial and error method. So we started this green initiative called JM programming. This is a green building program, if you are aware of it, which executes the objective of promoting environment-friendly green building design and construction and beyond that. So quickly, if you look at it, ASSOCHAM executes this green building program for sustainable design and development of energy, an integral part of it. It is indigenous to Indian climate. It is updated constantly for the Indian needs. It is simple, intent-driven, with applicability across all the sectors. You can say residential, healthy facility, logistics, education, hotels, warehouses, all kinds of new one or existing buildings. We are trying to update. Why we are trying to do it? What is the impact of energy in it? Okay, I will come to that part in a while. Compliant with BET ECBC. ECBC is Energy Conservation Building Code. It's an Indian indigenous code, a very good guide for all of us that we developed. And the 2017 edition, which is the latest edition of it, with the NBC, the National Building Code 2016, we are making all of these implementations in the green building sector, sustainability, energy and water efficiency. You can see there is a prominent in it, the second part. Fire and life safety, more green area, human comfort, fresh air. Even if you're talking about fresh air, energy has a part with it, directly or indirectly. Indoor air quality, same thing. Even the daylight and energy has a connection. So energy is everywhere. You are talking about optimization of nature. United Nations SDGs goals also, there are a lot of emphasis, and JM is being continuously improved to align with the United Nations SDGs 2030, and energy is a part of it. The JM green building advantages, like I told you, it is an indigenous program by century-old apex industry chambers. JM is the first indigenous program based on ECBC and NBC. It is an affordable certification program, at least 30% less than other programs which are existing in our nations right now. Sustainable buildings. If you make something sustainable, if you're paying something extra, you think for anything, that can be covered off in 3 to 4 years, and the extra additional cost will be 6 to 10 rupees per square feet maximum. And there is a regular interactions between JM and project teams, even post certifications. That's what we have added, and that's what we are committed to everyone who is going for this certification. It is listed by CRISIL, Green Building Rating Agencies. You can see that JM certification program is there, and we have JM level certifications in terms of different requirements, JM 1 to JM 5, and energy is, like I told you, I'll not go to that detail. You can see there are a lot of principles in our program which is directly related with energy audit also, commencement also. So we recognize energy audit as a need of this hour. So that's why ASSOCHAM JM Green Building Certification Program has been empowered with Rajasthan Building Bylaws for extra fair incentives, and some other states are also coming up in near future. So the certified green projects, we have a lot of projects across diversified sectors. Maybe it is hospital, maybe it's a hotel industry, office industry, residential programs. There is a DoubleTree Hotel. There is, you can see, there is also Times Square Mall is there. There is cinema hall is Para Cinema Hall. New Delhi was GEM certified. I can show that successfully delivered projects. That this is a glimpse of it, illustratives. about healthcare, there is a green school, there is land port terminal, Kartarpur, and it's not only a diversified portfolio in terms of types of buildings, it is also diversified in terms of locations in India. Everywhere we can do that, because energy is not confined to cities only. It is also going to the all details of our life, all details of the sectors and places in all the states, and even in villages. We can implement side by side. Slowly you can do it, and going towards the energy audit platform we can develop throughout India. It is not only for any particular cities as of consumptions. So we deliver this plaque and certificate for GEM compliant projects. In this pandemic situations, in this slowly we have made this 85 webinars, 70 MOUs with universities, 13 MOUs professional organizations, 9 chapters, 70,000 plus attendees, and 80,000 plus registrations. Mission 100 universities across the nations. GI Patil University logo is there. You can see. So we have signed MOUs with a lot of many universities. The only aim is that to promote sustainability awareness in the buildings, with the university, with the help of universities, within the professionals, within the students' mind, because that is very much essential to us. Right now we are in number 70. ASSOCHAM has existing MOUs with leading agencies like NEED, because it is much required, because we want to implement certain things. We need to have collaborative approach towards all the leading agencies like NEED is there, ISRE, ASRE is there. ISRE, you know, is the energy building code. ISLE is there. Mr. Prakash sir is here, so he can illustrate more about that. So all the energy related sectors we are here, right? And also architect sector we are there. ASSOCHAM GEM chapters, Mission 20. Like I told you, there are 9 chapters already, and some are coming up. We are making GEM webinar series in association with PC, ESL. A lot of webinars are there. We have been you can see that energy performance contracting, everything is about energy savings here, you can see. So it is not a new thing for us. We have been trying hard to make people aware of energy auditing and commencement, and all this topic that we are dealing on. This is very dear to our heart. All of us, I am myself as a mechanical engineer, all the engineers are in our team. We all are very much dedicated for the energy job, and we know its importance. And that's why we're trying and harder and harder to make people aware of these things. This is a beautiful thing, GEM certified professional program. On 26th of this month, there is a master class. We will provide sessions, 4-hour sessions almost, which will include a free webinar for all the GEM certified professionals, where we will deliver the principle by principle, whatever I showed you in the slide before slide. There is a lot of principles there, and we'll explain those things. We'll try to make people understand, make students understand what is the importance of sustainability, how it can be implemented through GEM Green Building Certifications Program. So maybe this link will be given right now in the chat box. So please attend this, and after that, please register for the examination as well, so that after this webinar, you can register for the exam. You can have the certifications, and that certification will help you being collaborated with ASSOCHAM in our future endeavors, whatever buildings, whatever way we can. Not only that, there are a lot of other things that are coming up in energy auditing as well, and lot that we will inform you time to time. Whenever there is an update, you will understand it. We will let you know those things once you are a GEM certified professional and associated with us. So the sustainability services we offer as a part of GEM are water audits, waste audit, energy audit. You see, it is a part of us. Trainings on sustainability reporting and award, that also includes energy, net zero carbon neutrality. All of these things are somehow related with somehow energy auditing and commencement, and how to make the buildings sustainable. And students, professionals, please pay attention to these things. Energy auditing is a much more needed thing. Our keynote speaker and other speakers here, eminent speakers, they will elaborate more on it. I am just trying to make a ground for it. So we have the benefits, all the audits, not only energy audits, any sustainability audit, we call it green audit for universities. In the green audit, we have waste audit, we have water audit, we have carbon footprint audit, we have energy audit. All this helps in certain ways, tangibly and non-tangibly, in both ways, right? So we have a pledge, PM Modi made this pledge that let us all pledge to create a green and environmentally sustainable country. Of course we should, and that's what we're trying to get at. You have any questions, anytime you want to ask any questions, we have our email IDs here. My colleague Mr. Amit Kumar Sharma and my numbers are, and email IDs are here. Please contact us. Thank you very much. Back to Ektam.
Thank you so much, Rat sir. Now I request Mr. Arun Sonar sir, Head Instrumentation Engineering, Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute of Technology, Pimpri, Pune, to address the audience. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, madam. I welcome you all. I, Professor Arun Sonar, welcomes you for the fourth session of webinar series, FDP on accelerating clean, green, and sustainable innovation in India. Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute of Technology, Pimpri, Pune was established as Dr. D.Y. Patil Women's College of Engineering in July 1998. And later, it was converted as a co-education college in 2002-3. The institute is situated in the vicinity of Pimpri-Chinchwad Industrial Belt, which is the largest industrial belt in Asia. There are 9 UG programs currently we are running and 5 PG programs, including MBA. The institute also offers the PhD programs. All eligible programs have been accredited by National Board of Accreditation, NBA. The institute has been awarded as A grade by Government of Maharashtra, India. The institute is also an ISO 9001-2008 certified institute. The institute has well-equipped laboratories with ultra-modern facilities supported by highly qualified teaching staff in all branches catered to by the institute. The central library is also furnished with reference books, textbooks, journals, national and international journals, etc. The main thing, our training and placement cell is very active and it is headed and supported by highly qualified faculty who are in close liaison with industry. Many reputed companies have visited our institute for placement of eligible students. The institute was first institute selected by Wipro Mission 10X for the deeper engagement. The institute is the first elite member and received unified teaching learning kits developed by Wipro Technologies. Also, the first Mission 10X Learning Resource Center has been established in the institute. DIT is the consortium member of Indo-US collaboration in engineering and education, that is IUCEE, and International Federation for Engineering Education, IFEES. The series of webinars is jointly organized. This series of webinars is jointly organized by Department of Instrumentation Engineering, Electrical Engineering, and ASSOCHAM GEM Green Building Council in New Delhi. Both the departments of this institute are promoting research, culture, and creating many opportunities for the students to grow in the technical field. Instrumentation Engineering Department is mainly engaged in development of special purpose machines which are required for medical, especially physiotherapy area. It has resulted into filing of 20 patents, out of which 10 have been already published. I am thankful to the management of Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute, Dr. P.D. Patil sir, Chairman of the Society, Dr. Somnath Patil sir, Secretary of the Society, and Dr. Pramod Patil sir, Principal, for their constant support and motivation. This particular session we are celebrating, or we are executing in the eve of World Environment Day, to be celebrated tomorrow. This webinar series has tremendous importance in relation with that. This is the fourth session of Energy Audit and Commencement by Nikhil Mohite, Consultant Energy Audits and Commissioning. I welcome you all for this session. Thank you, madam.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, sir, for briefing us about the IT. Now moving forward, it gives me immense pleasure to introduce Architect Rajiv Taishete sir. Architect Rajiv Taishete sir did his Master of Architect Environmental from Institute of Environmental Architecture. He has total 40 years of experience. He is fellow member of Indian Institute of Architects. He has done many housing, industrial and commercial projects. Few government projects are Savitribai Phule Pune University Auditorium, Dombivli Sports Complex, resorts for Tarkarli for MTDC and many more. Welcome, sir. We are very happy and fortunate enough to have you here. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, everybody. I am Rajiv Taishete. So our theme that is more important. We are accelerating clean, green, and sustainable innovations in India. So we are in the research of that. I am a research fellow. I have done my many researches in energy conservation and energy audit. So of preparing a roadmap for energy conservation building code for Maharashtra. It was sponsored by Shakti Foundation and it was done for Bureau of Energy Efficiency. It was prepared by our team. Rather, the team was from Institute of Environmental Architecture, Rachana Sansad. Our team members are Dr. Roshni, Dr. Ashok Joshi, myself, Shirish Deshpande, Dr. Sadhna Mahashabde, Dr. Kashyap, and so on. So we prepared that. Ultimately, while preparing the things, hello, can you hear me properly? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We
Yeah,
can hear you.
I
Yes,
can
sir.
understand that. Okay, fine. So we have prepared that roadmap and it was given to all over Maharashtra. And on that basis, the training program and the trainers were educated or trained for implementing this energy conservation building code. Now they are in search of opaque wall assembly for compliance of energy conservation building code. That was a 3 years program and it was funded by central government's science and technology department. And it is it is on the completion of the particular project. The energy conservation is basically we people are considering that only power means electricity is the energy. So it is not like that. The energy is such a thing. There are many things in the energy which are free, that is given by the nature, like solar, like heat transformation, like fire, like water, wind. So there are many non-conventional energy resources are there. We are not using it. They are free. We are conserving only power generated by coal or hydro, that we are trying to conserve it, and we are trying to train the people to save that particular energy and how to save it, how to go with the new technology, how to find out the ways and means to reduce down the heat in the envelope of building or industry, something like that. So it is mostly it is used in industry, and to reduce down in the industry, that is very difficult to make it conservate it, because industry needs the energy in the large way. Except lighting and air conditioning, we cannot do anything. So energy conservation building code is a huge thing, and the more important is the building envelope, and we should try to study the building envelope and non-conventional energy uses. I think we our speakers or our upcoming event that will be addressed by Mr. Nikhil Mohite. He is an energy auditor. He will speak in detail on energy conservation building code. And Mr. Pratash Bhajatya, he will also speak on that, and he will explain in detail. I think this is fine, and we will learn out of it. It's a learning process, and we should learn it. And we should conserve the heat, as well as we should use the non-conventional energy to save the energy and save the carbon footprint or reduce the carbon footprint. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce Dr. Pratash Bhajatya sir. Dr. Pratash Bhajatya sir is electrical engineer by profession and actively involved in conducting programs, seminars, conferences on illumination, LED, solar, and environmental aspects. Since 2008, he has been deliberating on sustainability and pollution due to lighting. Concept of integrated approach on the utility of LED with solar, controls and batteries was mooted by him way back in 2013. Having worked with Central Institute of Road Transport CIRT Pune and associated with the Battery Society of India, he is also active in e-mobility, passionate with continuous learning. As a fellow life member of Indian Society of Lighting Engineers, ISLE, and sharing the responsibility of Director, Education and Training, a 6-month e-certificate course in Basics of Lighting and Illumination was conducted by him along with Mr. Kamal Sethia in 2020. As Director of MIT School of Energy and Lighting, Pune, a unique industry-oriented techno-managerial PG program in lighting technology and energy management was conceptualized and launched under his guidance in 2007. Thank you so much, sir, to have you here. With great pleasure, I invite Bhajatya sir to enlighten us with your thoughts. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Madam Ekta Mishra, for the nice introduction. It is my pleasure to be a part of this event today in the morning and welcoming all the dignitaries on the dais and all participants. I thank the organizers to invite me for interaction in this event, Faculty Development Program Accelerating Clean, Green and Sustainable Innovation in India. Complementing Dr. Pramod Patil, Principal, Diva Patil, Dr. Urmila Patil, Dean Academics HOD, and Professor Arun Sonar, HOD Instrumentation Engineering of Diva Patil, Institute of Technology, Pimpri, Pune, for selecting such a useful topic for this FDP. Welcoming Mr. Nikhil Moite, Consultant and Speaker of today on Energy Audit and Commencement, I compliment Architect Rajiv Tashete, Honorary Secretary of ASSOCHAM, Jain, Maharashtra Chapter, Shubharata Ratha, Joint Director of ASSOCHAM, Jain, Green Building Program, and Mr. Harish Pushkar are joining hands with Diva Patil, Pimpri on these very useful and interesting topics. Well, friends, as Professor Ekta Madam said, today is World Environmental Day. So I send my compliments and best wishes to all of us, and let us try how we can save the environment from the pollution or polluting. In my introduction, I think Professor Ekta already said that I am dealing with the pollution due to light since last almost 18 years, and so far I made about 30 presentations that how light, because this is a unique subject, that how light also plays a role in polluting the environment and how we can avoid that. So anyway, that is a topic which can be dealt separately. But anyway, now since our speaker of the day is going to discuss on the importance of the energy audit and various concepts, so I will not teach a touch on that, but definitely I would like to dwell upon the topic of the event itself, that is FDP, that is Accelerating Green and Sustainable Innovation in India. Before dwelling on that, as Professor says that, okay, I'm the governing body member of Indian Society of Lighting Engineers and also the Director Education and Training of ISLE. So I invite all of you, those members of ISLE, to become the member, join hands so that we can do many more activities in this field of lighting and pollution due to lighting and removing that. My details of this are already displayed on the chat box. Those who are interested may please contact me. Now let us coming to the topic of the seminar, rather this event, lecture series. One is the clean technology. Now in clean technology, in any process, product or service that reduces negative environmental impacts through significant energy efficiency improvements, sustainable use of resources, or environmental protection activities. Coming to the green technology, that refers to environmental friendly technology, and it involves the usage of technology in production processes using sustainable forms. It can also refer to clean energy production. Coming to the economics, economic development is closely linked with the energy development. Most of the world's commercial energy supplies are provided by fossil fuels, with the associated emissions causing global environmental problems. It is feared that not only these levels of energy production and use from current energy sources are difficult to achieve, but also unsustainable. Therefore, energy use efficiency needs to be increased to moderate the growth of energy, while the contribution from clean energy sources needs to be increased to reduce adverse environmental impacts of energy usage. Coming to the green energy, it offers a promising alternative to traditional energy sources. The fact that renewable energy accounts for only a modest proportion in meeting the world's commercial energy demand means that there is a missing link in their potential and their implementation, the barriers in their implementation. These barriers, either financial or non-financial, need to be identified and addressed in order to design innovative policy approaches for the international and domestic financing of renewable energy technologies. Renewable energy can play an important role in helping to meet basic energy needs through the use of modern technologies, green technologies. The Rio Declaration adopted at United Nations Conference on Environment and Development in Rio de Janeiro emphasizes entitlement of healthy and productive human life in harmony with integration of environment protection in the development process. The green technology policy to provide direction and motivation to continuously enjoy good quality and healthy can be based on the 4 pillars. First is the energy, which seek to energy independence and promote efficient utilization. Second is the environment, to conserve and minimize the impact on the environment. Third is the economy, to enhance the national economic development through the use of technology. And the last but very important is the social, that is the improve the quality of life for all. Now, green technology is in a broad term and a field of new innovative ways to make environment-friendly changes in daily life. It is created and used in a way that conserves natural resources and the environment. It is meant as an alternative source of technology that reduces fossil fuels and demonstrates less damage to the human, animal, and plant health, as well as damage to the world. The use of green technology is supposed to reduce the amount of waste and pollution that are created during production and consumption. It is also referred to as environmental technology and clean technology. Although it is difficult to precisely define the areas that are covered by green technology, it can safely be said that green technology is the development and application of products, equipment, and systems used to conserve the natural environment and resources, which minimizes and reduces the negative impact of human activities. This technology should meet the needs of society in ways that can continue indefinitely into the future without damaging or depleting natural resources. In short, green technology is defined as the technology that meets present needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Let us talk on the sustainable innovation. The sustainable innovation can be defined as the process in which the exploitation of natural resources, the allocation of investments, and the process of technological development and organization changes are in harmony with each other for both current and future generations. Based on this context, sustainability is considered as a path forward that allows humanity to meet current environmental and human health, economic and social needs without compromising the success of future generations. International Union for the Conservation of Natural and Natural Resources, World Conservation Union, United Nations Environmental Program, UNEP, and Worldwide Fund for Nature, WWF, Caring for the Earth define sustainable innovation as that which improves the quality of human life while living within the carrying capacity of supporting ecosystems. For the purpose, 7 criteria are proposed to judge the appropriateness of sustainable innovation. First one is the system independence. It is the ability of the technological device to stand alone for doing the required job. Second is the social status. It is the realization that technological device can elevate the user's social status as well as need a basic human need. Image of modernity requires that the social status of people who adopt it either increases or remains unchanged. Next one is the individual technology versus collective technology. It is a careful assessment of the technology that is based on group approach and becomes more systems independent. A society geared towards individual or single family unit will need more systems independent technology. Collective technologies are more easily adopted as collective action reduces a transaction cost. Fourth one is the cost of technology. Affordability of the technology is an important indicator for their wider use, since cost is the major factor in encouraging or discouraging the application of appropriate technology in developing economics. Next is the risk factor. It is an important factor to find out how smoothly technology works in the local production system and system that explains to what degree is the technology system dependent or system dependent. This indicates the need for understanding 2 types of risk, both the internal and external risk. So, risk is before applying new technology, it is almost impossible to do all risks. Next one is the capacity of technology. If the chosen device is static, it will relatively reflect the short-lived solutions to a much larger problem. The technology which supports the continuation of development by enhancing capability to expand can be expected to compete at the regional, national, and international level. And the last one is the single-purpose technology. In contrast to single-purpose technology, multi-purpose technologies variety of applications. For example, a tiller, which can be used for tilling the land, powering water pump, and drying rice. So with this, my views on the topic of the event, I give back. Thank you, everyone, and I give back to the madam.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. It was a great address by you to the audience about the blend of technology, environment, and so sustainability. Thank you so much, sir. So let's start the session by introducing today's keynote speaker, Mr. Nikhil Mohite. Mr. Nikhil Mohite is a mechanical engineer and over 8 years of comprehensive experience in energy efficiency and sustainability, with a special focus on energy consulting and energy management system implementation in commercial and industrial sectors. He has gathered a broad range of experience in the field of energy auditing, renewable energy sector, and building commissioning. Energy consulting experience include conducting energy audits in various industrial sectors such as sugar, pharma, metal, thermal power plants, shopping malls, hotels, industries, and commercial facilities in India and abroad. He is also a lead auditor for energy management system and experience of implementing ISO 5001 in manufacturing industry. He is a certified energy auditor from Bureau of Energy Efficiency, BEE. Mr. Mohite has been actively participating in green building certification process for IGBC and LEED, especially focusing on third-party commissioning and energy audits as per IGBC lead guidelines. Thank you so much, Nikhil sir, to have you here. Over to you, Nikhil sir. Nikhil sir, as you are going to start your presentation, I have a small announcement for participants that you will get a feedback link along with questionnaire at 12:30, maybe around 12:30 to 12:40 at the end of this session in the chat box. And please, you will get the certificate after successful completion of all 6 webinars. So please don't get confused to get the certificate. This is a session to gather the knowledge first. Okay. So I request all participants to give your valuable feedback with questionnaire related to the presentation which Mohite sir will present in this session. Thank you so much. Mohite sir, over to you.
Yeah. So, can you see the presentation?
Yes, sir, I can see. Please continue.
Yeah, so today's topic is about energy auditing and commissioning of the buildings, commercial buildings and residential buildings. So we'll talk about general introduction to the energy audits, the procedure of energy audits. Then we'll come to the commissioning of the building, the introduction to the commissioning of the building. And then we'll talk about the differences between commissioning and the energy audits. Then we will also discuss about the case studies regarding energy audit and commissioning. So this is the presentation overview. And I would like to start with the introduction to the energy audits. Yeah. So typically, energy audit consists of identifying and developing modifications in the current energy consumption scenario of the building. So our aim is to reduce the energy use and cost of the operating of the building. So our goal of the energy audits is to improve the energy performance of the building and to reduce the consumption of the fuel and the electricity that we use in our residential buildings. So energy audit or the energy analysis is the first step to making our commercial facility making more energy efficient. So normally when we say that we are conducting an energy audit, that means we can either do it in a more broader level, or we can go in depth. So as we perform more and more measurements and we go more and in more depth, we can find more solutions to conserve more energy. And at the end of the energy audit, we try to find the conservation measures, and these conservation measures are normally are low cost or no cost options, or maybe capital intensive. So the energy utilization index is first when during the energy analysis of the buildings, we try to get the data, historical data of the building, and we try to understand how the energy consumption of the building is. And for that, to understand the historical performance of the building, we try to use the energy utilization index, which is against the energy consumption. We try to use the influencing factors such as square meter of the building, or the influencing factors, the factors which have effect on the energy consumption of the building, such as outside temperature. And we try to map the energy consumption of our residential building against this influencing factor. That is called as the energy utilization index. So when we say that the buildings have same energy utilization index, that means that two buildings, when we say are compared with respect to the climate and with respect to the square footage of the building. So these are the two, for example, energy utilization indices we are using in comparison of the two buildings, and we can say that who has more energy consumption, and we can compare the two buildings. So in this example, we can the building which has higher energy utilization index can be set with the energy baseline, and then we can start identifying the potential savings with respect to the baseline. So the energy baseline is what to prepare the baseline energy baseline, we use this energy utilization indices for the buildings. So key elements to any energy audit, performing the act of energy audit, and the key elements are first one is benchmarking and analysis of the historical data, and the second one is breakdown of energy use and analysis of the end users. So in the initial steps of the energy audit, what we do is we try to understand the type of the building, the principal use of the building. If the the building is used for 8 hours or it is used for 24 hours for residential purposes. What are the different types of energy sources that building is using? What are the different types of energy uses that the building has? What are the different costs associated with the energy uses? So these kind of questions we come up with when benchmarking and analyzing the historical data, and then we try to understand what are the design conditions and at what design conditions the building was and the actual operations. So we try to compare the design conditions and the actual operations. We try to understand the operation and maintenance procedures in the first step, then compare it with the baseline. So this is the first step about the benchmarking analysis of the historical data. Then we try to break down the energy use, and in this step we try to categorize the energy consumption with respect to our on-site observations. So the breakdown, the categories, and the different categorization of the energy usage could be such as how much of the percentage lighting, the contribution of different categories such as lighting, HVAC, domestic hot water, laundry, food preparation. We try to analyze, break down the energy usage of the building. And the third well, energy audits, engineering and the economic analysis. So once we have identified the historical data, then we have identified the breakdown of the energy consumption. Then we go to the data analysis, and after analyzing the data, we try to in the energy analysis we try to get the information about the present energy use, and we also take into consideration the cost of the energy sources. So our ultimate aim is to the energy conservation, and we try to estimate the energy savings with respect to the energy efficiency recommendations. So there are several frameworks that are available for conducting the energy audits. So the several frameworks such as ISO, International Standards of Organizations, then our Bureau of Energy Efficiency from India, and ASHRAE Building Energy Assessment Professional, ASHRAE Building standards. So these standards have their own guidelines for conducting the energy audits, which we can use while conducting the energy audits. For example, in the ISO 50001 energy management system, the family of ISO 50001 energy management system, the separate standard ISO 50002 is given to identify has given the guidelines regarding conducting the energy audits. So there are several steps which we can follow, and we can conduct the energy audit as per ISO 50001. Bureau of Energy Efficiency has also given certain guidelines regarding the energy audits, and what the framework which Bureau of Energy Efficiency has given is that they have identified certain designated consumers, such as the manufacturing industries, and they have identified them as designated consumers. Several sectors include cement, steel, then railways, then fertilizer, iron and steel, pulp and paper. So these sectors that are available, these sectors they have identified as the major energy consuming sectors, and the leading industries in these sectors have identified as the designated consumers, and they have Bureau of Energy Efficiency has set goals for these designated consumers. And so this is the framework which they are working upon, and they have created credentials such as energy manager and energy auditors. And for these energy auditors and these energy managers, they have set certain exams to qualify. And these exams do include the subjects such as for the energy efficiency in electrical field, and then energy efficiency and thermal systems and the electrical systems. This Bureau of Energy Efficiency does not exactly framework for the energy audits, but it works on the equipment level. So the structure of the examinations and the framework, it says that the energy auditors and the energy managers, they are prepared on energy savings on the equipment level. On the other hand, if you see ISO 50001 energy management system or ASHRAE standards, they are more working on the system, and Bureau of Energy Efficiency works more on the equipment level. So after completing the examination of energy auditors or the energy managers, so these certain individuals are more equipped to have the information regarding the equipments and how we can conserve the energy savings. And recently they have also included the residential part for the buildings also in the designated consumers. So the hotels and the airports, they are also being included in the designated consumers. And yeah. So for the sake of our presentation, we'll discuss about the energy system as an energy system. We'll discuss about ASHRAE standard, and how they have given the guidelines for conducting an energy audit. So as I told about the Bureau of Energy Efficiency and ISO 50002, the ASHRAE has guidelines regarding conducting energy audits, and they have identified these guidelines as level 1, level 2, and level 3. So the level 1, on a broader level, we can say that when we are conducting energy audit, using the guidelines from level 1, it is more like a walkthrough analysis. Level 2 is more about energy survey and analysis, and level 3 is detailed analysis of capital intensive modifications. So the framework of conducting an energy audit procedure is same for each level. Only the depth and the context which we follow of collecting the data, analyzing the data, only that changes from level 1 to level 2 to level 3. But the level 1 gives the input, can be used as an input to the level 2. And level 2 can be used level 1, and level 2 inputs are used in the level 3 energy audits at ASHRAE. So we'll try to understand in detail what level 1, level 2, and level 3 are. Okay. Yeah. So as I mentioned, for each level, the process, the energy audit process is same. So initially, we will try to review the utility data. Before visiting the site, we'll try to examine the utility data. The utility data regarding the energy consumption. The energy consumption is mainly from the energy sources used on a residential buildings, such as electricity or diesel consumption. We'll try to get this information for as long as for 3 years to understand the energy consumption pattern of the building. So this, the more the data we have, will we'll understand the pattern of the energy usage, what are the changes that have been happening in the energy consumption on a broader level with respect to energy sources. We'll try to get the, before visiting only, we'll try to get the information regarding the single line diagram or the buildings or the systems diagram. And we'll first get to know that when they design the building or the current usage of the building with respect to the single line diagram, we'll try to understand the energy sources, the energy consumption, the energy consumers at the demand side, and how the energy is distributed in the building. We'll try to understand what kind of an energy utilization index that we can use, such as just now we discussed about the square footage of the building or the outside temperature. Can we use that as an energy utilization index? We will also try to benchmark the data on a broader level against the similar buildings which are present in the same area or the same city as well, which has the same effect of the climate on the building. And then when we visit the site, we walk through. After the walkthrough, we'll try to estimate the potential energy savings, identify the with respect to the data. We'll try to identify the changes in the energy use pattern, and with respect to the data collected, we can make the summary of the data and the graphs. And this analysis, this preliminary review of the utility data will help us to determine which level of audit we can perform. If there are many low-hanging fruits are still available with the facility, then we can go only for the level 1 audit, and on a broader level we can just simply submit the report with respect to the level 1. And buildings can first confirm that they have identified, they have implemented these low-hanging fruits, and then they can go for the level 2 or level 3. If the buildings are more complex and if they are much bigger in the size, they can choose for the level 2 energy audits. Yeah. So for the level 1 or level 2 or level 3, for each level, the first step is the preliminary review of the utility data. And see on the right side, with respect to the initial energy review, you can simply make a graph regarding the categories, different categories you can make, and we can see the internal lighting, cooling, heating, exterior lighting, fans. Such kind of categories you can use, and you can analyze the initial data. So the second step in each level is the site assessment. So once we are done analyzing the initial data, we visit the site, and then in the physical assessment of the facility and the operations, we try to meet with the key operations and the maintenance staff. And while doing the site assessment, this is also when whether you are in level 1 or level 2 or level 3, this the complexity and the depth which you conduct the site assessment depends on the each level. So the level 2 will be more on the equipment side, and we'll try to get the different operational different view on the equipment usage. We'll try to collect the data with respect to the energy consumption, such as we'll try to do the energy measurements for the equipments, and we'll try to collect the data in this way. So we'll while doing the site assessment, we also get the construction details of the building envelope. Then when we are collecting the data for the chillers or the pumping systems or the AHUs, we get the data such as rated capacities of the systems. Then we try to understand the control methods. What are the control methods? When we are doing it on a level 1, then we do it on a broader level. But when we are on a level 2 and level 3, then we try to understand the control methods more in the deeper level. And we also try to monitor these controls for longer periods. Then we try to understand the operations of the interior and the exterior lighting systems, the service hot water, what are the ways that service hot water is being used, the preliminary findings as recommendation and feasibility of energy conservation measures we discuss with the building staff. So after review of the utility data site assessment, we go and do the data analysis. So once we have the measurements, the data monitored, in the second step, we come back and we do the data analysis and we try to find out what is the performance of the actual building. So the performance related with the equipments that the building has been using. So in this case, what we do is we try to understand the performance of the chillers or pumping systems or the fans with this, and we try to understand the efficiency. If we calculate the efficiency of these equipments, and we compare these efficiencies with the rated parameters. So what exactly we are getting, and we compare this with the rated parameters. So energy audit is the data analysis is nothing but what is coming in and what is going out. So most of the equipments, what is coming in is the electrical energy, and what is going out, such as in case of pumping system, what is going out is the hydraulic power. When we talk about the fans, what is coming in is the electrical energy, and what is going out is the fan power, air power. So we can in this way we can analyze the equipments, and we calculate the efficiencies of these equipments, and we compare them with the rated parameters, and we try to find out different ways of conserving energy with respect to these equipments. So the cost analysis, what it considers normally is with respect to the budget. Initially, probably the building maintenance staff or the building owner will tell us in the beginning itself that we want only the energy conservation measures with a particular payback period, simple payback period of 5 years or less than 3 years. So like that, with respect to our initial discussions, we try to analyze the energy efficiency measures and we present it to the building energy owners. So with respect to that, we also consider when we are calculating the costs of the energy efficiency measures, we consider the energy costs of the energy sources, then the operation and maintenance cost of these measures when implemented for the longer period, potential savings over time, and the financial calculations which we do to present to the building owners are simple payback period and the life cycle cost. So such, yeah. Last step for the energy audit is preparing the energy auditors. Once energy audit report. So once we are done with the data analysis and preparation of energy efficiency measures, the identification of energy efficiency measures, we try to put everything in our audit report. And we talk about the future, what kind of steps the building owners has to take to meet the energy saving and financial goals. So we give the summary of buildings current condition and energy use, and so this will be coming from our initial preliminary analysis. And then we discuss about the list of recommendations, energy saving recommendations with respect to low cost and longer term energy efficiency measures. And we also discuss about monitoring of the energy consumption, energy utilization in the future, how the building can monitor the energy consumption. And that we have seen in the buildings also, that many times buildings are only monitoring the energy consumption and there is no system at all. Whatever the building has, the building might have the system in place for collecting the data. They might not have automated data generation, but they have personnel working on collection of the data. So they will be only monitoring the energy consumption. They are collecting the data, and they have the data for last couple of years or 3 years, and there is nothing. They have not done any energy analysis with respect to that data, generated, and they have not come to any conclusion just because some company has advertised them about doing the data monitoring. They have been following this, and so in the energy audit report, it is also important that while monitoring of the energy consumption, what kind of energy utilization indicators to use and try to understand the energy pattern of the equipments and try to come to the conclusion whether the equipments are running efficiently or the building, whether it is running efficiently or not. Yeah, so as we discussed, the 4 levels of conducting energy audit, and so this is the framework of actually level 1, level 2, and level 3. So for each level, we are following the same framework. Really, analysis of the first before visiting this data, visiting the site, we try to collect the data from the building, and that is preliminary analysis. The second is the site assessment. Third, we talked about the data, the energy data, the analysis of the data which we gathered in the second step, and the last is the energy audit report. So these 4 steps we will follow for each actually level 1, actually level 2, and actually level 3. But only the complexity of the collecting the data, analyzing the data will change and will deepen to as we go further. So as I said that in the actually level 1 walkthrough analysis, we only collect the energy, try to analyze the energy bills. We conduct a brief on-site survey of the building, and we try to get the low-hanging fruits only. So the energy efficiency measures which are low cost and the no cost. And yeah, so this is only our initial judgment when we are conducting ASSOCHAM level 1. ASSOCHAM level 2 is a little more complex, and this is where we will go with the team and we'll conduct the energy survey and we'll do the energy analysis also. We'll try to break down the energy use as we saw before with respect to the different categories, and we'll try to see that which category has the major energy consumption, such as HVAC, HVAC lighting. So when we are categorizing the energy consumption on a broader level, we get to know that who has the significant energy consumption, and we'll try to attack the significant energy consumers. Yeah. In the ASSOCHAM level 2 audits, we will also consider their maintenance and operational activities, and we'll try to understand different activities they are performing with respect to their energy consumers, and we'll try to understand what kind of maintenance procedures that can be modified or altered with respect to the energy consumption. And here only we will once we are here we'll be conducting more detailed cost benefit analysis of the energy efficiency measures which we have identified. So once we have identified the energy efficiency measures, we'll do the cost benefit analysis in more detailed way, and we'll try to also understand the operational maintenance activities for these kind of measures. And here we will not include, but we'll just mention the capital intensive projects which has more capital and which require more data to analyze, to come to the point that there is some energy saving opportunities. And this input from the level 2, actually level 2, we'll use in the level 3. So what level 3 is, it is the detailed analysis of the capital intensive modifications. So once we have identified a few capital intensive modifications, we'll try to monitor the energy consumption of certain parameters, certain equipments with respect to the capital intensive identification of the energy conservation measure, and we'll try to understand the load, the energy consumption pattern, whether it is changing with respect to the load, or how the behavior of the energy, or how the energy performance of the particular equipments are. So here that's how we will do the capital intensive modifications to realize the energy saving opportunities. We'll try to gather as much data as possible, and we'll do the monitoring for certain period of time, and we'll get this data and then analyze the data. And then we will come to the point of cost benefit analysis, and we'll do the cost and energy saving calculations. Yeah. So this is brief summary of level 1 audit report, level 2 audit report, and level 3 audit report. So in the level 1 audit report, as we can see, there is much. It is only a walkthrough survey. So it has executive summary, brief description about the facility, then scope of audit, then preliminary analysis findings, including benchmark and end use results, and only the low-hanging fruits such as low cost and low cost energy conservation measures and potential measures for further consideration. So here only we will mention that there is a potential, but further study needs to be done. So in the level 2 audit report, that will be the input to our level 2 audit report. And here we'll do, as I mentioned, that in the level 2 audit, we'll do more comprehensive energy end use analysis. And then we also do the financial analysis of energy efficiency measures. Yeah. So we also have to describe the energy efficiency measures which we have recommended in our report. So then the highlight of the level 2 audit report is the summary table, which with the energy conservation names and their savings over the period of time. And we'll only mention the capital intensive measures requiring level 3 audit. And this will be the level 2 audit report will be the input for the level 3 audit report. Yeah, and as I mentioned, in the level 3 audit report, we'll include the capital intensive measures. So here we will go a step further and we'll try to include how to implement these capital intensive measures, what kind of schematics, equipment lists are required, what are the design sequences, what are the costs of equipments, and how the commissioning will be there, so this will be in much more details. And the evaluation, the financial evaluation will also be much more complex than level 2 and level 1. So this concludes our auditing part, and we'll start with the commissioning part. So the commissioning of the building systems, why do commissioning? The main goal of the commissioning is to keep the building systems operating as specified in the design documents and technical specifications. So the main reason why the commissioning of the building is required is when we are installing a system, installing the equipments, there is some intended use of that system. So for example, the human comfort. And we under changing conditions. So that is the goal of our commissioning, that whether we are getting those results from the systems which we have installed in our building. So this is to ensure that the building works as intended, so to fulfill that mission. So these the most commonly commissioned systems are HVAC, and we also like to see the controls of whether the HVAC is operating as intended. When there is a change in the internal system, or whether it is reacting to those changes, we also try to understand the power and the lighting and domestic hot water systems and the renewable energy systems. So these are the main systems or the equipments which we consider while doing the commissioning of the building system. So why we require commissioning of the building systems? Because in a way it also reduces the energy use and it reduces the operating cost of the building. Then it also provides us the facility and the staff which is working inside the building, or the people living inside the building, that safe and healthy facility, safe and keeps them safe and healthy. And and it also improves the building system documentation. Sometimes what happens is, once the building comes in use, after a few years, there are lots of changes, and because there are lots of changes and no one has really did any changes in the documentation with respect when we do the commissioning when we do the commissioning of the buildings, we come to know what is the current scenario of the building against the design scenario a few years back. And we can change the documentations. Yeah. Commissioning processes include mainly. So the commissioning process mainly include the different types of commissioning are initial commissioning, the ongoing commissioning, and the retro commissioning. So the initial commissioning is normally done to the newly constructed. So it starts with the commissioning planning, and it starts with the basis of our it starts with the owner's project requirements. So the owner gives the requirements to the design team, and then they prepare this basis of design, and then the actual process starts. The contractor comes in the picture. They order the equipments that are required, and we do the startup procedure. Yeah, so this process starts up, and then the commissioning provider comes into the picture also. And then the commissioning provider will review the design and the installations. He will also make sure the startup of the components, the systems. Then they will do the performance testing, whether the equipments are running accordingly. And then they will prepare the system operation and maintenance manual. They will train the personnel, and then they'll also see if the system is responding to the seasonal changes. And they'll do the first operational review after 10 months of operation, and it will go into the ongoing commissioning. Yeah. So this is the initial commissioning is done mainly to the new constructed building. Ongoing commissioning starts after the initial commissioning, and this helps in following up the initial commissioning. So ongoing commissioning also has a few steps. We'll try to understand them in the details. And in the slides. Part is retro commissioning. Retro commissioning happens mainly with the existing buildings. The existing buildings which are not commissioned before or in the initial stages. So for such buildings, retro commissioning can be used, and there are also several steps identified, and these steps can be followed for conducting the retro commissioning of the buildings. These are the three commissioning processes that we are going to see in detail. So the building commissioning process, as I mentioned, that the building commissioning process start with the commissioning planning, and then in every step of the process, the planning, the design, the construction, and the post-construction of the building, a commissioning provider has a role. So in the planning stage of the building, the commissioning provider comes into the picture, and it develops the plan for the commissioning of the various equipments. In the design stage, he analyzes the documentation prepared by the design team, and the contractor. With the contractor, he analyzes the documentation whether the document is aligned with the owner's project requirements. And in the construction, when the equipments are installed in the building, he will do the functional performance testing of the equipments, whether they are working as per the intended use intended use with respect to our owner's project requirements. And with the post construction, every 3 to 5 years, they can again go for the commissioning. So why should we go for the commissioning? Because as we use the various equipments such as motors, the fans, and the chillers, etc., they will worn down, and with use they will worn down, and there will be some sort of unbalancing or the misalignment, causing various problems such as vibration and noise. The controls and the sensors, whether they are performing as we intended, as per the design, so they will also deviate from their intended use. And over the years of time, if we also need to see whether they are properly, and proper controls are given to the census. Yeah. If the building has been old, or if the building is as old as 10 years, there will be many changes in the building with respect to the ducting, for example. And we also need to see if the changes in the building are included in the documentation. Yeah. And we can also, over time, the indoor air quality issues can worsen. So providing an uncomfortable environment for the occupants, this is not good for the benefit of the company when there is no indoor air the indoor quality issues are not taken care of. So such kind of issues we can also take care of during commissioning. The cost regarding the extreme energy and the cost regarding the energy, that can also be affected if we are not doing the commissioning once every 3 to 5 years. Yeah. So it is all about the losing great deal of money. The health of the building is also an important issue for the building's owner if they are considering to give it on rent, or if they are considering to sell it off. So the health of the building is also an issue, and they can consider they can go for the commissioning and improve the health of the system with respect to commissioning, and by looking after the controls, the sensors, the equipment, whether they are working properly, the indoor air quality is being maintained as intended. Such kind of issues, if they are there, they will be taken care of during commissioning. So the initial commissioning. So we are at the initial commissioning. First, clients will specify. So this is the first process which we defined out of the. We saw out of 3 commissioning processes: initial commissioning, the retro commissioning, and the ongoing commissioning. So the initial commissioning, clients when in the pre-design, the clients will specify their owner's project requirements. Certain key performance indicators are planned. Then designer will specify the basis of design. Then the commissioning provider will come into the picture, and he will start doing the initial commissioning planning. Then then after the installation and the startups and the checklists are prepared, and after the installation of the equipment, startup will be performed, and then the commissioning provider will go and conduct the functional performance testing planning. And after after the installation reviews, after conducting the functional performance testing, various issues will be identified. They will be taken. They will be taken care of by the contractor of the equipment provider, and yeah. So that will be the end of it, and then we'll start preparing the operational and the maintenance manual. We'll train the operation and maintenance personnel with respect to the commissioning output and how the system should be running. So with respect to that, we'll do the training as well to the staff. After this, we'll in the first year of the construction, we'll do the seasonal commissioning as well, whether the systems and the equipments are responding to the seasonal changes. And once the post-occupancy, will try to do the operational review after 10 months. And this will be the end of our initial commissioning. So this initial commissioning will be the input to our ongoing commissioning. Yeah. So we'll go in the first year of operation. So the system that we commission during the initial commissioning, or the retro commissioning, or the ongoing commissioning, are mechanical ventilation systems, such as we'll see the ductwork cleanliness, whether the insulations are in place, what is the operation of the AHUs, outdoor units, whether they are performing as intended. Then we'll try to understand the operation of exhaust and supply fans, and on the cooling side, we'll try to understand the performances of chillers, cooling towers, pumping systems, Windows AC air conditioners, split air conditioners, VRF systems, precision air conditioners. In case of data center, heating systems if the residential building has the boilers or the heat exchangers. And we'll also see the control side of building management system, measurement sensors, energy meters, whether the room conditions like air temperature, CO2 monitoring is being done, or with the portable instruments, we'll also try to understand what is the CO2 being maintained in the building. If it is a office building, then at the start of the office and at the end of the office, if it is being maintained, if the fresh air fans are working properly. So these are the systems we commission during the commission. So as mentioned earlier, initial commissioning activities. So the owner's project requirements, then we'll try to identify the key performance indicators. Then basis of design is prepared. Then the team will nominate the commissioning provider. Commissioning provider will do the commissioning planning. Then the data metering will be done. After the contractor submittal review that the equipments are in place and they are performing as intended, installation and the inspection of the system components will be done. Once the startup is done, the functional performance testing is carried out. Various issues are identified, whether the equipments are working as per intended use, and then once they are rectified, the commissioning provider along with the contractor will prepare operation and maintenance manual and system operation and maintenance manual. Then after that, they will train the staff and the personnel, and the seasonal commissioning activities will be also carried out. And then there will be one operational review after 10 months of operations occupancy of the building. Yeah. So that was the initial commissioning. Then we'll go for the retro commissioning. So if the building from the initial rectification of the building, erection of the building, if the old buildings which are far more than 10 years old and they are never commissioned, as we discussed before. So what can they do? For them, the retro commissioning is one way of doing the commissioning to identify the changes, whether the intended use of the equipment is still there. If there are any changes in the systems, the equipments, these systems could be included in the documentations also. So the retro commissioning is performed for a building that has never been commissioned before. So this is also a systematic process for identifying underperformance in the equipments, lighting, and control systems, and then performing necessary adjustments. Yeah, just as we discussed before, this is also important in improving the efficiency and of your existing facilities. And we can also come to the conclusion of replacing outdated equipment that is conforming to the specifications. The financial support for the retro commissioning is provided by the energy efficiency programs run by utilities or the state agencies. So the activities the steps which are followed in retro commissioning are planning of retro commissioning. Then first is the planning, then investigating of the existing documentation, then understanding the current system operation and indoor environment quality, design and planning of the required improvements in the system. Once we understand the current systems, if there are any changes or if they are not performing as intended, the operation, and then we try to analyze the situation, and then we design and plan for the required improvements in the system operation and planning and the execution of the commissioning activities. So the actual process of retro commissioning is very similar to the initial commissioning. The various steps which we followed in initial commissioning, they are exactly followed in the retro commissioning as well. So why do this? Why do the retro commissioning? So the several advantages are: improved building occupant productivity, increased occupant and owner satisfaction, enhanced environment, health conditions, and occupant comfort. As we discussed before, if the CO2 is being maintained, CO2 will make the staff uncomfortable working inside. So that needs to be checked. Improved building operation and maintenance. If certain steps or certain checklists are being monitored by the staff or not. Occupant safety is increased. Extension of the equipment, improved system and equipment functions, and also energy and the cost savings. So improved health of the building is the main reason why we conduct the report commissioning. The third is the ongoing commissioning. This starts after the initial commissioning, after a few years. Then the ongoing commissioning is based on the, but this is something, the ongoing commissioning is more about the data collection, and this is based on ongoing collection and analysis of the energy data. So the data metering step which we followed in the initial commissioning comes in handy for our ongoing commissioning. So the existing building automation system which we have generates a lot of data, and this data is analyzed in ongoing commissioning to reduce the number of errors being made. So when to consider ongoing commissioning? So when was the building last commissioned? So once we do the initial commissioning, and then after a few years we have not commissioned the building, then we can consider this option. If there are many major system upgradations or alterations since the process was completed, and there have been any issues identified by the occupants, and they are continuously giving any complaints. So these, in such, after doing the initial commissioning, also if there are any thermal comfort issues or any complaint issues from the staff, so there is a chance that building is not operating as intended, and we can investigate these issues during the ongoing commissioning. So these are the activities which we follow during the ongoing commissioning. So first step, as I mentioned, is about data monitoring, measurement in building, follow-up of the building performance. Then we try to benchmark this data for comparison with similar buildings. Then in the ongoing commissioning activities, we do the annual walkthrough audit, do the follow-up meeting with the staff, and we do the reporting as well. So in the end, we do the repair and the retrofit planning and budgeting and the implementation. So the various tools and used in commissioning are very similar to energy audit. To conduct the airflow measurements, we use the anemometer. For analyzing the energy consumption, for measurement of current and voltage, we use clamp meter. Then for the temperature measurements, for the chillers and the cooling towers, etc., we use a digital thermometer. To understand the pumping systems, we use water manometers to measure line pressure of water measurements. Then we also use the pitot tube to understand the static pressure measurements. Then tachometer, rotationals, to measure the rotations of the motor, etc. And then understand the vibrations of the various equipments. We use vibration meter. Yeah. So different. Yeah. The commissioning agent is the commissioning provider, which has a more role in during the commissioning process. So from the initial stages of pre-design phase, commissioning agents are part of the overall. From the early design phases, they are part of the process, and they review the construction documents, comment on the construction submittals, and review the construction on the field. So they will also participate in the processes. Yeah. So we'll go to the energy audits and commissioning. What are the differences? So energy audit. First, we'll talk about the similarities. So we have the similar outcome while conducting the energy audit and commissioning. Energy saving and the energy cost. Both processes identify low cost and no cost improvements. The processes are the process also include similar processes such as analyzing energy consumption over time, development and breakdown of energy and use in the building, spending time in the building to observe operations, review the building automation system, etc. So these are the similarities between energy audit and commissioning. The main difference between the energy audit and the commissioning is the functional testing we do with respect to the instruments. So this is something we do not do in the energy audit. So when we are doing the functional testing of certain equipments, we want to only see whether they are working as per the intended, whether the blowers, if they are there, and whether they are switching off or turning on or turning off with respect to the temperature inside the building. When we are considering evaporative cooling system, for example, if there is a pumping system pumping the water inside the evaporative cooling system, whether they are responding to the changes in the temperature inside the building. So such functional performance testing we do in the commissioning process. Yeah. So the objective of the energy audit and the retro commissioning is identifying the same objective, identifying cost-effective upgrades, and in the retro commissioning, we try to understand the whether the systems are performing as per the intended level of performance. Yeah. Primary focus is during the energy auditing. Primary focus is identification of the projects which will generate energy savings. In the commissioning process, we will try to understand the processes, their building controls, and operational measures, whether they are giving the same the output which was intended. Yeah. So in the process of energy audit versus commissioning, the steps which we follow in the energy auditing and in the in the commissioning process are very similar, although in the energy use breakdown in this case is more important with respect to energy audit. That is not so much important. That has not so much importance in the commissioning process. Capital improvements for the is the requirement of our level 3 energy auditing. That is not that much required in commissioning process. So as system sequence of operation testing, system functional testing, data and trend logging is something more important in the commissioning. As we discussed, sequence of operation is being followed, whether the controls are operating as intended. So I'll go to the case studies. Yeah. So one case study of fans or the blowers, how we do conduct the energy audit for the fans or the blowers. So when we are conducting the energy audit of the fan, what we try to understand is what are the performance parameters of the fans or the blowers. So to come to the conclusion of the performance of the fans or the blowers, we have to when we field what we measure the what we try to understand is what is, as initially we discussed, the energy audit is mainly about what is coming in and what is going on out. So in case of fans, it is the air power, and to understand the air power, we have to have the measure the airflow inside the fan. And we have to also, the second parameter which we require is the static pressure difference created by the fan. So these two values will give us the information regarding the air power, and what is coming in is the electrical power. So we'll try to get these two informations while conducting the on-field study with respect by using the clamp meter, as mentioned before, to measure the input power, electrical power, and on the other side to measure the air power, we'll use the pitot tube to measure the static pressure difference, and we'll use anemometer to get the actual airflow. in cubic meter per second. So once we have static fan efficiency, we can see once we have the static fan efficiency, we'll compare this with the we'll compare the operation with the rated operated. So we'll try to the data analysis in this case with respect to the energy auditing, or what we will try to understand is whether we have chosen the right fan. The fan is undersized or the oversized one. Yeah, and we'll try to reduce this the system resistance. We'll try the operation of the fan to move it closer to the best efficiency point. So in this case, we'll try to understand the fan performance curves and where our fan is operating at the moment, and if it has moved from the operating point of the fan is moved from our operating point is moved from our best efficiency point when we had installed it before. We'll try to make changes in the operation of the fan, and then we'll try to move the operating point to the best efficiency point. With the different ways of doing this are using the damper, for example, inlet guide vanes, VFD. So as you can see from the right side, the power consumption, and when we change the rotation of the fan motor, we can see the changes in the power consumption also. So this is the basically framework of analyzing the fan's performance with respect to the energy audit. And we'll also see what we exactly do when we are commissioning the fans or the blowers. So in the commissioning phase of the fans and the blowers, we try to understand the startup manuals, the installation manuals, then sequence and the control strategy. What are the operation and maintenance manuals? So what are the during the installation, we'll see the general installations and the electrical part of it, and we'll try to get the electrical parameters, and we'll try to see if they are less than full load amperes. So such kind of observations we do. And if there are any controls given to the fans or the blowers, that in one case that once the inside temperature is above 30 degrees Celsius, then the frequency of the blower will change accordingly, and the fan will run to the highest frequency of 50 Hertz, for example. And as the temperature comes down inside the building, for example, to 27, and the fan will start operating at 25 Hertz. So such kind of changes, if the fan or the blower are responding to. So such observations are more important in the commissioning phase of the. So other observations we have made during the initial commissioning was in one particular building, the indoor units were interlinked with the fresh air fans. And during the commissioning, we got to understand, we understood that the fresh air fans were not operating at all, and there was no interlinkage at all. So this happened for each and every floor. So the contractor had done some wrong connections with respect to the electrical, and they were not operating at all. So this type of problems we can understand during the commissioning. While during the energy auditing, we also came across one hotel, one 3-star hotel. They had heat pump systems installed on the terrace, and what they were doing was they're generating hot water from the heat pump. So the condenser side, as you know, the heat pump exactly operates opposite of our air conditioning system. So the condenser side, the heat is given by the hot air, and we get the cold air outside, and from the evaporator side we get the hot water. And what was going on was what they did was they had a shed they had prepared a shed for this heat pump, and they were operating this heat pump in this shed. So instead of getting the hot air from the outside, it was generating whatever the cold air generated by the heat pump was getting sucked into the condenser side, and the COP of the heat pump was very less. So such kind of observations are more important in energy auditing. Then we also ask them to explore the opportunities of using this cold air inside the building. Yeah. So when we are doing the energy auditing, we also see for the pumping systems. Once we saw that the chiller was working with very low efficiency, and we understood that on the condenser side something was stuck on the condenser pump suction side, and it was not generating enough water flow what was intended or what was required to the required flow. So it was not the heat rejection, the rejection of heat on the condenser side was very less. So such kind of observations we do in the energy auditing, and we try to improve the efficiency of the equipment. So yeah. So the bottom line is, for in the energy auditing, the bottom line is what is coming in and what is going out. And in the commissioning, the bottom line is are the systems or the equipments are giving the intended use.
Hello.
Thank you so much, sir. Indeed, it's a great presentation for energy audit and commencement. We have many questions regarding this. So should I ask you a few questions?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. The question is, what is the best way to become a certified energy auditor, especially in India?
As far as I know, I mean, to become certified energy auditor, you can always start to work in the field of energy, and more requirements are with respect to instrumentations. If you can conduct any measurements.
Okay.
So, and after acquiring a few years of experience, you have to go and attend the exam of Bureau of Energy Efficiency or Energy Manager and Energy Auditor.
Okay. So is there any limitations or a time slot for this examination?
It happens only once in a year.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to provide you have to just show the required experience to and then you can attend the exam. There is no limitation as such.
Okay. Next question is, just a moment. Out of the 3 standard, which is the best standard for energy audit and useful?
Yeah, that depends on your requirements. As I mentioned, that if your building, if your building is not that complex and it is very old, then you can go for level 1 audit, and you can first try to get the low-hanging fruits, and then you can go for the level 2 audit. If your building is quite complex, then you can simply go for level 2 audit at least. But that also depends on your budget and what kind of results you want. The deeper you go, definitely it is beneficial to your building.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. A participant is supposed to, they are asking about the PPT. So can we get the PPT what you have presented in this presentation to share them?
Yeah, sure. I can share the presentation.
Okay. Thank you so much, Nikhil Mohite sir, for being a keynote speaker for today's session on energy audit and commencement. It was indeed a very great session. I request all participants to go for the feedback link and the questionnaire in chat box, provided in chat box. And one more thing which is very important, participants are really asking about the certification or how they get the certificate. So let me tell you, this is the FDP. This is a 6th webinar series on accelerating clean, green and sustainable innovation in India. You will definitely get a certificate after successful completion of all 6 webinars. Since our first webinar is on 7th May, we have started our webinar series on 7th of May. 14th, we were not able to conduct because of holiday. Then the next one was on 21st, 28th, and this one is the fourth session on 4th June 2021. Our next session will be on 18th of June. Please remember, it is not on 11th, it is on 18th of June 2021. This will be our fifth session. Please remember. And the topic for the next session will be challenges to achieve renewable energy targets in India and what is the power sector scenario in India. So I hope I am clear about the certification. You will definitely get the certificate after successful completion of all 6 webinar series. So don't panic, please acquire the knowledge which is deliberating here, because we are providing you the best speaker which we know better. So please, all of you are requested to acquire the knowledge, ask number of questions, ask for PPT, whatever you want to ask. As far as knowledge is concerned, we are here to provide you. So thank you so much. Now I request Professor Tripti Dhanadya ma'am to give vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. I am Professor Trupti Mangesh Dhanadya on the behalf of Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute of Technology, Pimpri Pune, ASSOCHAM Jain, Green Building Council, New Delhi, and organizing team of Electrical and Instrumentation Engineering Department for the webinar series FDP on Accelerating Clean, Green and Sustainable Innovation in India. And on my own behalf, I extend vote of thanks to all the people for their involvement and sharing with us the valuable thoughts and opinion today. At the outset, I take this opportunity to thanks to today's keynote speaker, Mr. Nikhil Mohite sir, consultant energy audit and commissioned BEE certified energy auditor for the post session. The topic on energy audit and commencement, accepting the invitation, sparking your valuable time and sharing valuable thoughts. Sir, I believe that the view expressed by you on energy audit and calculating energy consumptions and stake for the same. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Honorable Dr. P.D. Patil sir, Chairman Dr. D.Y. Patil Unitech Society, the management of Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute of Technology, Pimpri Pune. Words are not enough to thank Dr. Somnath Patil sir, Honorable Secretary Dr. D.Y. Patil in Unitech Society for his constant motivation, valuable guidance and support for organizing such kind of the programs. My sincere thanks to our Honorable Principal Dr. Pramod Patil sir for his continuous support and motivation for arranging such webinar FDP for knowledge sharing. I am also thankful to Mr. Rath sir, Joint Director, ASSOCHAM Green Building, for his opening remark for today's session. I thank all the heads of department, dean of various activities, faculty member for making these events a big success. Thanks to our valuable participants of this activity. Last but not least, thanks to all our committee members who have worked hard for make these events grand success. I deem it a great honor to propose the vote of thanks to all who have helped us in making these events such a resounding success. Thanks to all.
Thank you so much, Tripti ma'am. Rath sir, over to you. Yes.
Thank you, everyone. This was a wonderful session. The sustainability webinar series is going well, and block by block we are building up. Right, this time, last time we did sustainability design. This time energy. Next time it will go into renewable energy. Thank you, the keynote speaker, Mr. Mohit. It was a great job how you distinguish between all the comparisons and how you built up from audit to commissioning. Thank you for these illustrations and everything. Guys, please stay tuned and take care. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care.
We can close the meeting.
Yes, sir.
Amit?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks.